I'm Jarrett, that's Dwight. Listen to our SoundCloud, watch our YouTube, share our Facebook. Do all the things you don't do.
Do all the things you don't do. That should be a hashtag or something. I'm going to put that on that Twitter that you don't follow. You know if we ever make it really big one day, that's still going to be the joke, right?
Yeah.
Do all the things you don't do?
Yes.
Okay, just so that's clear.
Dwight.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of games that I don't really care to talk about that happened on Sunday.
Okay.
Well, usually we kind of bounce around through most of them, so I'm going to skip around today.
That works.
Only thing I want to bring up with the Thursday night game,
What was Thursday night game?
Derrick Henry with 550 yards.
You know, that's absolutely ridiculous. I even asked what the Thursday night game was. Considering Derrick Henry proceeded to sit on my bench as I'm trying to compete for a Super Bowl role. Put up 40-some points in fantasy. He had some shit.
Yeah, I started him in one of my leagues.
But you know, well, I don't know if I said before, but I had Kareem Hunt, and then that situation I decided to give rid of him. Well, initially I drafted Derrick Henry, cut him because he wasn't doing shit. I still had Kareem Hunt, but then the Kareem Hunt thing, I decided to get rid of him. So then I brought Derrick Henry back, sat his ass on my bench, and this is what happened.
Big game, his first game with the team.
And that's some shit. That's
Playoffs, too.
Playoffs for me.
Playoffs.
But then I ended up winning anyway.
Hey.
So what does that say about the other team? Shouts to, I don't know who I'm playing, but shouts to him. He's one of your friends.
No, I'm sure.
But yeah, that's wild.
We're playing each other in fantasy basketball right now.
And we are currently tied. Which
I was
is
up by
weird.
1 point.
I did see that. You were up by one.
But we were tied the first day.
Did you see 3 of my players got hurt?
Yeah, I did.
Brandon Ingram got hurt. Cut him. Tristan Thompson got hurt.
Saw that.
Porter got hurt.
Yep.
Yeah, so, yeah.
I have a shot.
96 Bulls out here found 16 Warriors, and here we are competing. It's nice to have some competition for once, I'm just saying.
People care about our fantasy teams.
I'm getting tired about blowing out. Well, I don't give a hell what they're. I'm getting tired of blowing out people by 200 points. Yeah. It gets boring after a while, so it's nice to be able to compete. We're going to find out what happens, though.
New Orleans took care of Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay was winning for a lot of that game. New Orleans ended up winning it. Quickly, I want to talk about Green Bay and Atlanta.
Hot Atlanta.
Green Bay put up 38 or 31, whatever it was. More points than they put up all season. Coincidence? Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah.
McCarthy's gone and it just happened to have that way, or
stop it.
Atlanta's not good, so I'm not.
Stop it. Stop
Right.
it. Yeah, no, I'm not going there yet. Do it the rest of the year. That's going to be like, okay, yeah, he was the problem, but.
Dude.
Week 1, you know how many times that shit happens. Week 1, the coach goes away, and all of a sudden we rally together. We're going to rally the troops.
I got you. The first week the coach isn't there.
Here we go, put up 45 points. It's like, oh, see, it was the coach.
Aaron Rodgers, played really good. Didn't play all that well the week before.
Mike McCarthy's fault, right?
I'm not saying. I'm saying did he purposely play a little not that well the week before? I'm asking.
That's even more disrespectful to even ask. No.
I don't think so.
No, okay, well, all right, I'm just checking.
It's been kicked around.
By who?
Radio shows.
That's probably, I was going to say probably no. That is more ridiculous than even saying
I don't think
Mike
so.
McCarthy was the issue. I'd rather say Mike McCarthy was the issue than
I think
say
maybe
Aaron Rodgers
Mike
quit.
McCarthy's play calling might have been the issue. I think that might have something to do with it, but
Sure.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers quit. No. Like I said, I think he held on to the ball last week because he didn't have people open.
Right.
That has nothing to do with not trying.
Right.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. But they showed up for a week.
guess what?
Cool.
Our worst ever 5-win team, the Buffalo Bills, lost to the Jets at home. They were the worst ever 5-win team of all time, right? Like, we can officially anoint them as...
That's a lot of wins for a horrible team of all time.
They got 5, right? No, I'm just saying they're not the worst team of all time. They're the worst 5-win team.
Oh, you backed up? I'm still saying they're one of the worst.
But I'm saying that if we start breaking down 5-win teams right across the board ever, they got to be up there with one of the worst.
Well, they got to be number 1.
There you go. That's my point. They lost to the Jets at home. Like, this team is hilarious. The Buffalo Bills are the best, man. They beat the Dolphins the week before in Miami.
In Miami.
Or no, did they lose? No, I forget. Anyways.
I don't know. Don't you got the results right there?
No.
This man. No, that's last week. See, got me fucking up. And then that's not correct because my paper's been falling out. So I don't even know. It's irrelevant.
So Dwight.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Please tell me you saw the ending of the Miami New England game.
Yes.
You want to roast Belichick?
No. No. Why? Why would you roast Bill Belichick on that?
Everyone's first thought, my first thought, and everyone's been saying this, so we're a weekly podcast. We don't drop until late in the week, so our takes aren't as hot as everyone else's. But my first reaction was, why is Gronk out there?
Yeah,
But
I got 11 other roasts to hand out other than him, as in those 11 other players on that field.
I'll give you that as well.
And Gronk's including that. I'm not even worried about whether or not he's on the field.
Why was he on the field though? I did. Okay.
Why'd you get crossed up so bad?
Because he's not. Gronk doesn't know how to play defense.
Well, you're supposed to be back in the end zone. So what you even doing?
Because why is he on the field? He's not a safety. He doesn't know what he's doing.
He's here for the Hail Mary situation.
Okay, and I get that.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say this about the offense, and this is a good example of it for the defense. I hate the hook and ladder play where you catch the ball and you lateral it back, and then you lateral it back to another guy, and then that guy runs 20 yards, and he laterals it. Okay, because I always say, why do we play 58 minutes and 27 seconds of football one way, but we decide for the last 30 whatever seconds that we're going to play it this way? Like, I hate that. I absolutely can't stand it.
Because the only other option would be a Hail Mary.
So my thought on that is, with the defense, why would you put Gronk in there? You played defense for 59 minutes one way, and for the last minute you want to play it a whole different way.
Because they're expecting the Hail Mary.
Okay.
He's the biggest dude out there.
And the other side of
it works a million other times.
And the other side of that is, and now look, I'm not going to sit here and say that I thought this indefinitely, because my thought was just, why is Gronk on the field? I didn't go any further than that. But people are taking a step
all the time.
People are taking a step further with Tannehill has a bump shoulder. We all know that, so we know he's not going to be able to throw it 58 yards for a Hail Mary. So Gronk isn't going to have to knock down a Hail Mary.
Preventative maintenance. I don't know.
No, point being is you basically know that if it gets to the position where Gronk's getting somewhere around the ball in that particular situation, and usually Belichick is more aware than this, so I guess that's more the observations here.
I didn't know what people were losing their minds about. I saw people losing their minds about him being out there, and I was just like, this happens all the time.
It does happen all the time, and I always say I don't understand it. I get,
There's a great reason why he was out there. Okay, even if...
I just personally wouldn't do it.
We don't know if Tannehill would have not done it. He could have... Okay, his shoulder was hurting. It doesn't mean he still was going to damn near try to do it.
Just like the lateral, and the lateral is what they use to win the game. But just like the lateral play, I wouldn't do it, and I wouldn't do that defensively.
What the hell else were you supposed to do then? If you're not going to throw the Hail Mary, you're not going to do the lateral shit, what were we going to do?
No, I'm not saying. I throw Hail Marys. That's what I would do. I wouldn't do the lateral thing. But neither of them work all that well either way, so I'm not saying one's that much better than the other. I was saying I don't put Gronk out there, but I also don't throw laterals on the offensive side in that situation. But I'm
cool with Gronk being out there. I'm not cool with him.
I don't change my style, though, at the end of football games or basketball games or whatever sport you're talking about, ever. I understand pulling the goalie in hockey, but one of my friends described this to me as, and it's somebody who he never watched hockey, right? Him and I were watching a playoff game, and a team pulled the goalie, and I never thought of it that way until he said it, and I think he's absolutely right. Why would you play the entire game one way and then literally just pull the goalie and empty the net at the end of the game? I was sitting there trying to defend it for the first 30 seconds, right? And then the other team took the puck, scored the goal, and you're down 2 goals. And I was like, you know what, you're right. Why would you just not play with your regular 5 guys? And
I never agreed with pulling the goalie in general.
But my point is to me putting Gronk out there is pulling the goalie. No.
That's not even close.
Okay, in my mind though, my thought is why would you play it one way for 59 minutes and for the last minute play it another way?
They're two completely different things.
I'm not talking. Okay, but I'm saying symbolizing it down.
I hear what you're saying.
Symbolizing it down into the basis of.
But
yes.
That's a terrible comparison. So anyway, I'm cool with him being out there. That's not the issue to me. My issue is, Why is he getting crossed up? Why are you not? Were you supposed to be in the fucking end zone, waiting for somebody to come up your way? That's where you're supposed to be. Instead, he's 15. However, I don't know how far he was from the end zone. 15 yards short, let's say, and you got crossed up. Why are you not where you supposed to be in the end zone? Is my bigger question.
I will because maybe they didn't think Tannehill could throw it to the end zone. If they were throwing a Hail Mary, they had him where they thought Tannehill.
Okay,
could
well, even if you're in the end zone, guess what? And he throws it short. You are
run
there.
Up and get it.
There you go. Instead, he got crossed up.
But he's not a defender,
idiot.
so you want to kind of just have Gronk standing in a position where he can just jump and knock it down, because if he runs in there, he might get the pass interference. He doesn't know what he's doing.
I would have rather had him in the end zone. And I'd have told somebody, you go in the end zone.
And my thought with Gronk on that one is that what happened is, if you want to break it down football-wise, he doesn't know how to use the sideline as a defender. I mean, that's just all it was. Is
you don't know how to use his legs either.
Well, I hear you, but everybody, the safeties, your goal there is to either get the wide receiver or running back to either run out of bounds or cut back into the middle of the field, because all of your guys are coming from the middle of the field. Gronk, like the second Kenyon Drake saw him, he knew Gronk wasn't going to get him to the side of the field.
It was absolutely hilarious.
And so the second that you're not getting cut off by the sideline, there is no defender over there, and that's it. And the play was over. I heard him in an interview. I think it was the day after. He said the second he saw him, he knew. The second he saw Rob Gronkowski, he knew he could get to the sideline before Gronk could, and he got there, and he did, and that's what won them the football game clearly. The play itself, and you could break it down into one play, but Brady at the end of the half, if I'm not mistaken, Brady had a play where he took a sack with like 8 seconds to go, and they had no timeouts instead of throwing it away, and it was an easy field goal if he would have just thrown the ball away. And the clock ran down in the half, so they kicked that field goal. It doesn't matter; they still win that football game, because I think they were up at 6 at the time, so they only lost the game by 1. So they go up 9, and then that touchdown means nothing. They win by 1 even with 2-point conversion. So you could break down one play at the end of the game, but there's more to the whole entire game. Brady had a great first half, messes up that one play. In the second half, they just didn't move the ball at all.
Yeah, not everybody wants to look at the Gronk thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We just broke down that play for a while. That's why I'm pointing this out.
And that's the thing too. There was how many other defenders back there? Where was everybody else?
Oh yeah, dude. The first guy who had his hands on Kenny Stills didn't even know the ball came out of Kenny Stills' hands. The second guy that saw Drake totally whiffed and then got 3 blocks, and that was it. And you're absolutely right.
That's why
what does everyone else do?
At the beginning of this, there's 11 other people I want to look at before I get to Bill, who's number 12 at that point. Like, come on, man. There's that shouldn't happen. You can't. You a professional football player. You can't. How many yards was that play?
60-some at least. At least.
Come on, man. This ain't college.
Maybe 70.
Numerical shit that they play for 40 years. Come on, you in the NFL, you're not supposed to do that. You're professionals, and there's at least 10 other people who play defense on that team that was on that field, other than Gronk, that should have been able to figure it out. And
Dwight,
come on, man.
That might be the 4th time I've ever seen that play work.
Yeah?
I see that play get run 3 times a week.
And you don't see that in the NFL.
I see that play get run 3 times a week, and that might be, in the NFL, that might be the 4th time I've ever seen it work, ever.
Yeah, I agree. I know. I don't remember the last time.
It's really well. I can't remember the last time I seen it. The one I will never forget was. Do you remember? Now we were younger. I would have been in middle school or high school. The Saints against the Jaguars.
Nope.
The Saints did it on the last play. It was like a 70-yard hook and ladder, right? They're ladder on the ball back and forth.
I hate that shit so much.
They score it, right? They're down a point, and this is back when the extra point was only 2 yards away, and the dude missed the extra point, and they lost by 1, and it was the Saints lost by 1 to the Jaguars. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
That was so funny. Oh my, I wish Red Zone was around back then. I wish Hanson would have absolutely had a field day.
That's absolutely hilarious.
Oh, dude, it was one of the funniest things. Yeah, it's on YouTube. We'll look it up after the show. It's one of my.
I might have seen it.
It is one of my favorite moments ever in just watching football. I was watching it live. I remember. I think it was Fox that was airing it, or CBS. Whoever it was the extra. After the game that was on at 1 o'clock. Right. This game is. Let's show the end of it before we go to the 4 o'clock game. And I was just waiting for the 4 o'clock game, and lo and behold, I'm like, oh shit, they scored. Here we go. And then he missed the extra point, which, like I said, back then it was at the 2-yard line. So like that just makes it 1,000 times better that he missed the easiest kick of his life. Will Lutz, I'm pretty sure, was the kicker. Like, that's how in depth I can go on that.
Shouts to Will Lutz.
I think it was. No, I might be off on that one. Will Lutz might have been their latest guy. I forget.
Shout to that bum ass kicker that missed.
Yeah, whoever it was, dude, he just absolutely. What a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
So, moving on. Other good games in the 1 o'clock hour.
Sad.
Baltimore, Kansas City, probably the best game in the 1 o'clock hour. Went to overtime. Kansas City down a score in the fourth quarter, 2 minutes to go, scores the touchdown, gets to overtime, gets the field goal in overtime, and then just an abysmal, brutal, absolutely looking brutal overtime for. Did you see any of the Ravens overtime? They got the ball to somewhere around the 45 to the 50, right? And then they ran 3 plays, and 2 of the 3 plays, Lamar Jackson had to run backwards to find the ball. It was brutal to watch.
So that was on the snapper?
No. He had the ball, and the first one he went to go throw, and the ball slips. So he was throwing the ball like this, right? But he was holding it with both hands because he does that when he runs. And when he went to move his hand like this, this hand pushed the ball out. So the ball went this way. So he had to run 5 yards backwards, dove on it, okay? And then 2 plays later, for some reason on 3rd and long, they decide that they want to run with him, right? So he's same direction, running like this. And as he goes to run, right before he got popped, you could tell he got a little scared. And as he was moving the ball, it just moved. So then I think his running back fell on it. And so he got hurt because he got hit really hard on it. And RG3 had to come in, and RG3 threw a really bad pass on like
RG3 got thrown in the game?
4th and 17, last play of the game.
This is the first time in like 6 years he's been thrown in?
No, he played last week against Atlanta when he was out for a quarter. He played, I think it was 3 series and got negative 12 yards in those 3 series. This week, 4th and 17, his only play, bad pass.
Does he still have the dreads?
No.
Of course not.
He looks really bad.
He should probably take the
He looks he looks so bad with short hair. There's a picture of him and his wife, and don't get me wrong, his wife, good looking lady. It looks goofy because they should not. He doesn't look like he
looks like fresh out the pen.
Yeah, no, I don't know how he looks. It's hard to. RG3 just looks. He looks how you expect RG3 to look, awkward.
I'm glad you said awkward. Okay. Hair so nappy, Wilson could have picked it.
No, because his hair's short. It's weird.
That was a Martin joke.
I get it. Anyway, so Kansas City.
It can still be nappy short, just saying.
I know you've been working on. Have you heard anything about this game?
No.
Patrick Mahomes took the lead in the MVP race.
For who and why?
By Vegas odds. I never really took him out of it. I thought him and Drew Brees
just a bit disappeared.
Drew Brees just hasn't had a good last 2 weeks, and Patrick Mahomes hasn't fell off.
I'm sorry, it's MVP for a season.
I had Patrick Mahomes in or Drew Brees or Todd Gurley going into last week anyway, so I'm not changing on if you picked Patrick Mahomes, I'm in on it. Like, I don't care. I don't have him in any order. I would take Patrick Mahomes, I guess, if I had to vote, but any of those 3 work for me, honestly.
Brees, Gurley, Mahomes.
And I'm fine with any.
Mahomes has had a fantastic year, but you can just give him a rookie year. That's plenty.
I'm fine with any of them.
And
He
give the
can't win
MVP to
rookie of the
somebody
year.
else.
He can't win. He's not a
I
rookie.
keep thinking he's a damn rookie.
I know.
Well, whatever. He's a rookie.
But my point is if you give it to any of them, I'm okay with it. I would give it to Mahomes personally, but it doesn't matter to me.
But my point is, Drew Brees, this is for a season award. This isn't for a 2
The other
week
side
thing,
of it
so
is I think
they
that
could just knock that whole.
People have
he's had a shitty 2 weeks or
people
whatever.
have
which he didn't have a shitty last week, so whatever.
People have a very. Mahomes is flashy. He had a no-look pass this week, and people are raving about it. And it was a good pass. It was great. I liked it.
Tony
It was
Romo,
impressive.
Brett Favre throw.
Yeah, I thought it was impressive. He did it.
It was impressive. It
I'll
was
be honest, the more impressive.
It was risky.
Okay.
And it worked.
Okay, I'll give you that.
If he doesn't connect that, he looks idiotic.
Can I give you the more impressive throw to me? He rolled out about 8 yards to his right, and he threw across his body about 25 yards on a 4th and 8 in the fourth quarter. It was a much harder throw than the no-look one, where he had to throw it across his body. He stopped on a dime, and he did it. It was the most impressive throw I've seen in a long time from a quarterback. It was on a 4th and 8 when they needed it, and they got 37 yards from the play. The pass was on a dime, the throw itself was impressive. The play itself, when you need a 4th and 8 in the most crucial situation to get 30-plus yards, the entire idea of it was just, this is very... He's throwing himself on the scene. I thought that was more of an impressive play and throw. And if you're looking for a moment or a flashy play, I would point to that. Because like we talk about Aaron Rodgers with Aaron Rodgers' skill. Like Aaron Rodgers can make that throw, right? How many other quarterbacks can really make that throw though? Multiple times. I think quarterbacks in the NFL, a couple of them can make that throw here and there.
Couple.
But I'm saying like Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers, they can do that probably consistently. And in every game, there's a throw from him and Aaron Rodgers as well, where you're just like, yeah, that he's special. And that was it right there to me in that one. Now, don't get me wrong, the no-look one was pretty cool. I thought, like you said, it was risky, but I liked it. I thought it was good. He knew where his receiver was going to be, and he threw it there. I mean, that's...
He assumed where his receiver was going to be.
And he would have looked really silly if there was nobody there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people, oh my God, like, that could have went so bad. But
even if nobody was there, even if there was, like, literally no linebacker, no safety, no tight end there, if there was nobody there and the ball just goes...
dumb as shit.
He would have looked dumb. I
that's
agree.
why I'm like,
okay.
come on, man. People relax. He's I'm literally, as you were explaining all this shit, I was trying to think of the right wording to explain this comparison, because it's not...
He's athletic.
I was going to say he's a more consistent athletic version of Tony Romo. Because in every single week, I literally say Tony Romo we used to do that all the time, that throw it across, this I'm going to run backwards, I'm going to do a fucking loop around. He did that all the time.
Yeah.
He is a more consistent, a more athletic version of Tony Romo. Because he does the Tony Romo plays that you were like, holy shit, did he just do that?
He got a bigger arm than Tony.
Right. He is a better version of a Tony Romo.
Yeah, all right. The gunslinger mentality, I guess, is what they always call it. You were saying Brett Favre or whatever. I mean, that's what they're always throwing them in there as gunslingers.
I wouldn't compare him to Brett Favre at all.
No,
Two completely different people, but...
I agree.
He's a better version of Tony Romo.
I think the best thing I've heard so far, right, is it's almost like a Steph Curry thing where like it's not really something you've seen much of before. Like it's there, people have had it. Reggie Miller was a good 3-point shooter, but like at the rate that Steph Curry does what he does, at the rate that Patrick Mahomes does what he does. Do you know what I'm saying? Like Romo did that, yes, once or twice in a game. Mahomes might do that once or twice in a drive sometimes. And that's ridiculous. And you don't... It's risky, but if he's good at it, which he is, and that's... I'll be honest.
He's good for now.
I said it the year before about how I thought it was impressive what he did in college, and I thought it was more impressive to me. I knew that Andy Reid trading up to go forward in the draft to pick him up while he had Alex Smith... That said enough to me. Andy Reid trades out of the first round. He never trades into the first round. I can't remember a time in Philadelphia where he ever traded up.
Once he got one right.
No, what I'm saying is that means that like yes, I thought that he was going to have to be something special. There's no way Andy Reid does that without thinking that, without knowing that this is the guy. I
they know as well. That's a funny thing to say because they always claim they know.
But before the year,
did
I not tell you that I thought that they were going to be as good, if not better, than they were the year before?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that's what they knew. They just
this is his first year.
Right. That doesn't anyway. Doesn't mean Andy Reid just knew because people make them type of moves all the time just because it's the first time Andy Reid does it. Andy Reid's not all of a sudden a damn genius.
I don't think Andy Reid makes a move like that without knowing in his mind what's going to happen.
He assumed what was going to happen. You don't know that he's going to do that.
Oh.
You were giving Andy Reid a ton of fucking credit right there.
I think when it comes to quarterbacks, I think I'll give you that.
Stop that.
Time management, pressure situations.
Stop it.
We could talk about it all day, but when it comes to player personnel, I think that he is top notch.
Bill Belichick, apparently.
I think Andy Reid is top notch at player personnel. I think it's hard to argue with across the board. Look at what he's done in Kansas City. Just Kansas City alone. Just take Kansas City alone. Look at what he's did.
How many Super Bowls does Philadelphia go to? With their one great player? 2. But he's a great player personnel guy. With Terrell Owens and Brian Dawkins and D.N.
They still to do what they did over that time period is still super impressive. Dwight,
You completely just ignored what I just said.
they're the last team in the
okay,
NFC to win 4 straight championships in the same division. They're the last team
Okay.
to go to 4 straight NFC champion.
And I can name 3 great players he's had. Those 2 that I just named, and then if you want to go Patrick Mahomes, Mazel, great.
I'm talking overall, though, across the board. He drafted Brian Dawkins.
He's not a genius. Come on, man. Stop it.
I think he's a very top-notch coach.
Well, then Philadelphia made a mistake, apparently.
No, we talked about that before, that they felt like it was just time. Sometimes the message gets stale, but I think that player personnel-wise, there was no question, and there was nobody that was going to argue that he was still top-notch. There was just, he was not connecting with the locker room anymore. Look, I was on Don't Fire Andy for a very long time, right up until probably the last couple weeks there. I was one of the last people on that train.
I didn't know he was such a genius. This is news to me. It's news to everybody else, too, apparently.
Speaking of teams that got better from last year, Cleveland.
They still suck, so what you mean?
I don't disagree that they still suck. Well, what do they got? What, 6 wins this year? 5 wins this year? 5 wins, I think.
Yeah.
Dude, 5 wins. I mean, 0 last year. 5 wins this year. 5-win improvement is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. They beat your favorite team. I see.
Mm-hmm.
That's the real story. I ain't nobody want to talk about the Browns. Let's talk about your team.
Well, I was getting there too.
Let's talk about your team. Fuck the Browns. There ain't nothing to talk about the Browns. They're overachieving with a quarterback that likes to run his mouth. Let's talk about your team.
I was going to get to Carolina for sure.
With a quarterback that likes to pout. Let's talk about Carolina.
They had the ball with 2 minutes to go.
They being who?
Carolina.
Okay.
Game in reach.
Mm-hmm.
And they just blundered.
And Greg Olson said we are who we thought we were, which is trash.
Around the 45, they blundered it. Now.
They're so good though, right? Cameron Jarrell, what'd he do? I don't know. I'm genuinely asking. That's what he did.
Didn't win the game.
That's what Cameron Jarrell did. Against the Browns. Really?
He had 2 bad throws on that last drive. I thought he played okay throughout the game going into it. Their defense, I don't know. Luke Kuechly's all over the field, and that's the only name I hear. Like, I was watching that game.
Team on that? That's not breaking news, right? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Their secondary was getting lit.
Secondary's trash, and other than Cam Newton,
Jarvis
on
Landry.
occasion, their offense. Well,
Jarvis Landry looked like Amari Cooper.
Well,
He was destroying
we're
them.
gonna get to that, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, outside of Cameron Jarrell and McCaffrey, there's nothing there.
Yeah, I was gonna say they moved the
Kuechly,
ball.
That's 3.
They did move the ball pretty well, but then it was getting the points on the board. I mean, they ended up, I think, with 20 or 27.
I was gonna say, what was the score?
I think
forget what the score was.
I think it was 30 to 27.
You can't lose like that with the Browns. Come on, man.
And that was
Especially
the thing.
what? This is what, the 4th straight loss?
But they gave
Or
they.
third straight? I don't even know. It's
This is like 4 or 5.
It's something like that at this point. Come on, man. Come on.
I think it's 4.
Come on.
I'll be honest. The other side of the offense of this, because the defense giving up 30 points is horrible, but the offensive side of this is they got down to the red zone multiple times and they ended up with field goals instead of touchdowns, where they could have scored touchdowns.
Because the Browns should still be able to win, but regardless.
Right. Well, field goals though are not going to win you football games, and that.
Point being, I think the Browns suck. So
Yeah, I do
you should
too.
still be able to win that.
Carolina isn't playing all that well, obviously.
So it's still
Time for Ron.
I was gonna say. So
Yes.
what's next? What is next for this damn team? What the hell can I do other
Dude,
than?
I've been saying I do not like Ron, so
Did they get rid of him?
I don't know if they get rid of him. I think
they love
it's
him.
an option. Yeah, I think they love him as well.
I think they love that river
I think they're gonna
bullshit, which hasn't been a thing for 3 years.
I think they're gonna also lean on injuries.
Do they? Or they're still not that. They're still not anything
They gotta figure
spectacular.
something. I don't.
They gotta. Here's what
Did
they
they
gotta
just
do.
change their GM not long ago? Because if they needed personnel in there is the issue, right? I mean, they need a much better wide receiving core. They need better secondary.
We talk about this every single week, every single year. Even when they made that run to the Super Bowl, it was still like
Cam was it.
It was still like, yeah, they're doing it.
They didn't have a running back then.
Things clicked a la Philly, and it just so happened to work that year.
They
And
had a
ever
good defense.
since, a la Philly, like it clicked for a year. And Mazel, you were there. Well, they didn't win it, but they were there, and then it just. But they're not adding anything. What? When are they gonna start adding something? You don't need that. Well, you didn't need a Des Bryant when he was available and healthy. You don't need like, you know what I mean? Like, or do they go after Le'Veon? They should.
Well,
They better be one of the first ones to say
I think they got a running back. I think they need more wide receiver help.
they could use both of them. That'd
I
be
mean,
fine.
I'm not against
That'd be
two
fine.
running backs.
That would be fine.
You got one on a rookie deal.
That'd be nice. I'm trying to think of what wide receivers are even out there, let alone what will be available. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank, but you know, we have this conversation every single year. When are you going to get him some help? Ever since Steve Smith, and even when there was Steve Smith, it was like, yeah, Steve Smith.
And
then who?
Else? Yeah.
Steve Smith
No,
and
you're not
friends.
wrong.
It was Steve Smith and friends. Now it's Cam and friends. Cam and who? Actually, it's not Cam and friends. It's Cam and acquaintances.
Yeah.
Cam and acquaintances. You can put McCaffrey. Okay, that's fair. You can put McCaffrey there. I've grown to respect what he has been doing. Cool. Cam, McCaffrey, and friends.
Not to give excuses, because it's not like Cam's out here talking about it, but
He should be talking. Maybe he should be talking about his team.
His shoulder. It looked like there might have been something wrong with it the other day. I know he has sat a couple practices due to it. I don't know.
He needs to start being a little more vocal.
Yeah.
Just in general. I like to see that. Why not?
He
Because
gets scrutinized when he's vocal, though.
There's a difference between pouting and putting some bass in your voice, saying, "Damn it, help me."
Yeah.
I like to see a little. He don't even need to go that far, saying, "Damn it, help me. Damn it, give me some help." But he can do it behind the scenes, even.
Maybe he does.
It don't seem to be working if that's the case. Instead, he's probably standing up there doing that. Oh shucks, look at me, my dumbass outfit. Pouting with his towel. That's what, if he's doing that in the camera, I'm assuming he's doing that behind the scenes. Why wouldn't he be?
Yeah.
Just be a little bit more assertive, bro. He should be in there, be like, yo, we were just in the Super Bowl. We were just right there. What the hell happened? When are you going to give me some help? When are you going to build up this defense again?
For the first 8 games of this season, they were in the mix of one of the best five teams of the league, right?
I didn't buy that one damn week that we talked about it.
But point being is he can also throw that out there.
Sure,
Hey, we were in the mix at minimum.
That could be part of his argument, sure.
Right, that's what I mean.
So, but I don't think he's having a conversation. And as the quote unquote leader of the team, if that's who you are, which you're presumed to be, damn these nut ass outfits you plan in advance and plan to have a better team. How you going to address this organization to get a better team? Maybe you need to say, fuck Riverboat. Whatever you got to do, he needs to do this offseason. Otherwise, we just going to keep having this
same. Get some weapons around him outside of just a running back.
If he don't finally open his mouth about this, we're going to keep having this conversation every single year. And it's getting tiresome because he should be in a better situation.
I'm glad they got a running back. I always talk about how he can't be your 85% of your run game the way he was, 75% of the run game the way he was over the time. But
right.
At the same time, now that you gave him a run game, you got to figure out the outside as well. Because now
figure out his damn defense.
He has to rely on the guys catching the football if he's not going to be the one doing everything, which it's a good thing.
I can't even name their wide receivers. Right.
Funches.
Is he still there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so that's like half of wide receiver. Where's the other half? Right.
They don't have.
That's why they do have. They have Funches, and
Torrey Smith got hurt.
I lie. I can't name the other one because I had a bench Funches on my fantasy team. It's something more. And he's and he's alright. It's alright. It's alright. Okay, alright. Can we do a little bit more than alright, though?
Yeah, I agree.
Apparently not. That's why they're in the shitty situation they're in. And he has Greg Olsen, in fairness, but...
Who got hurt.
Right. Yeah.
Dwight, 2 weeks ago, Indianapolis lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars 6-0, and this week they ended a 9-game win streak for Houston.
I know you feel some type of way about that.
Who
did I pick in that? I'm really curious about that.
I picked Houston.
You picked Houston. I picked Houston as well. What an idiot.
Well, Indianapolis lost 6-0 the week before to Jacksonville.
I'm supposed to care about both of these teams, right? As you tell me every single week. Right.
It was a good game. It was a good game.
Okay.
Andrew Luck looked good. I know he's your Hall of Fame favorite.
MVP.
Why do I have an Andrew Luck jersey? You're waiting for the Andrew Luck Hall of Fame jacket to come out, and that's
Fucking
what you're
right,
going to wear.
I am, yeah.
I figure. All right, that makes sense. I hear you.
Amen. Goofy motherfucker. By the way, I'm glad you brought up this situation.
Oh,
'cause
shucks.
I saw the tweet that you got all anal about with Skip Bayless.
I just thought it was funny. I thought, maybe it's time to retire instead.
If you didn't see that, he basically said he would take Dak Prescott over Andrew Luck. Why? I don't know. I didn't get into the context of it, but I giggled and I was... Well, actually, I lied. He did say like 3 things. I forget what they were, but it was nothing that great. But I giggled. And I was like, I mean... I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember exactly, but he was like heart or something, or... What did he say? Not heart. He said something about... It was something, and I was like, I agree with that one because we literally clowned him about being that all shucks guy, and I was like, Dak isn't that guy. So when I saw you getting all triggered by it, I was like, you just hate Skip Bayless, and you just won't objectively look at whatever he's gonna say, even though he's not objective. Whatever.
Dude, but okay, the off the field stuff does not matter as much as the on the field stuff.
And it was a combination of those two.
But he's adding, yeah, but
and as he should.
the on the field stuff means 10 times more every day.
Duh, and he included that.
Okay, but he's taking Dak Prescott because Dak Prescott's better off the field than Andrew Luck. As
I said, he listed 3 things. One of those things just so happened to be about that all shuck shit. The other 2 was football related, which is another conversation. Fine, that's fine. But now you're all mad about the off the field
because
stuff.
My point
is why I say you're so triggered by this man's opinion. Just let him live and let it go.
Dak is not a better player than Andrew Luck. Dak is.
That's
I as an
That's
Eagles
your
fan
opinion.
give Dak more credit than most people do.
That's your opinion, just like it's his opinion.
Do you think that Dak's better than Andrew Luck?
No, that's my opinion.
All right.
And then guess what? That's my opinion.
That's why I just wanted to make sure.
It's an opinion.
Well, it's the right opinion.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You get so triggered by this, man. It's disgusting.
The grass green's the sky blue.
That's a fact. What is the
Greatest bully of all time.
Shout out to Terry, by the way. He's a real MVP.
Back to the game, though. So Houston's defense
Ain't no way to worry about that. Go ahead.
did not play
At all? Well,
as well as I thought they would.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also Andrew Luck made some nice plays, and when it mattered.
Canton's calling.
I will say that Houston offense.
Speaking of Canton.
So the Colts defense 6-0 only gave up 6 points the week before.
Mm-hmm.
Made Houston's offense struggle this week. Yeah, Colts defense is a lot better than I thought.
That's what I'm saying. All right, shout out to Deshaun Watson. Talk about Canton.
I know Dallas has a rookie linebacker that's up there in tackles.
We mean up there. He leads the league in tackles.
The Colts have a rookie linebacker.
Which, by the way, bring that back up later because I need to talk about
That's
that.
cool. The Colts have a rookie linebacker that also.
What's his name?
I'm looking at him right now.
I'm legitimately asking because I watch exactly 0 snaps of the
staring
Colts
at
other
him
than
right
the
now. What is his name?
occasional we're on the red zone for 5 seconds.
He was their first round pick. Oh my gosh, it's gonna kill me.
Yeah, I genuinely don't know.
I apologize to him.
So he's like right there with like Van Der Esch?
Yeah. He actually. So Van Der Esch leads the league in tackles.
He did at least head into this.
Well, he's
week.
up there, but
I don't know.
this other guy is solo. Leads the league in solo tackles.
Yeah, okay.
But it's
I don't remember if Van Der Esch was solo or
Now I don't know
total.
if Van Der Esch was close to him in this one, but this guy's only leading it by like a couple. But either way, it was solo tackles. I'm pretty sure one of them.
Pretty impressive.
But he was up there,
rookie.
right? And he actually,
It's
a lot
impressive.
of people did not like that pick for the Colts, which I mean turns out pretty well so far.
Shouts to whoever we can name.
I didn't have much of an opinion on it when he got drafted, if it was good or bad, but a lot of people weren't super excited about it. A lot of people thought they should have went with a wide receiver, honestly.
He's a linebacker, too?
Yeah, he's a linebacker. I think he plays middle linebacker.
You need a good middle linebacker. It's one of the most important spots on defense.
We don't need to talk about the Giants in Washington.
Sure enough, don't.
Cincinnati almost, with their backup quarterback, beat the Chargers, but the Chargers pulled it out.
That's pretty embarrassing for. I almost said San Diego.
What's the difference?
I mean, it looks like it'd be a hell of a difference this year. What you mean?
Talk about talk about embarrassing. Denver lost to San Francisco.
Is that really that big of a shocker?
Yeah, because Denver was on a 4-game winning streak. I'm not saying Denver was going to make the playoffs because I never believed in that or anything. But at least Denver was playing better. I just thought, no, San Francisco was kind of in the bag.
Yeah, I mean that's not something you want to do, lose to them. But I mean, it's not a. Ooh,
I got something more embarrassing though. I know what you're about to say, but you ready?
You don't know what I was about to say. But
You're about to say Eagles.
Okay, you win.
Come on, bro. Trust me, then we'll get to that.
We will get to that. Wait, was the Steelers kick? Yeah, the Charlie Brown kick.
All right, but in fairness, as we were just I was just bringing it up a couple weeks ago. I wasn't saying that we should tread further into these waters, but I think this is another step into these waters. Mike Tomlin said he just didn't bring Ben Roethlisberger back in the game when Ben Roethlisberger was available to come back in the game, and his other quarterback had 5 straight drives. And at this point, when Roethlisberger was allowed to come back in the game, it was 3, but he ended up with 5 straight drives of no points.
Against Oakland.
You were up 24-21, and then you lost 27-24.
Against Oakland. In fairness, I actually spoke with a Steelers fan this past week, and he was like, "Dude, we haven't beat Oakland in like 5 straight matches, or something ridiculous like that." And I was like, "Really?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "You're not losing this game. You can't lose it. You're not losing to John Gruden." I argue with this man. I was like, "There's no fucking way." And then they proceeded to lose to John Gruden's Raiders. What is?
It's how they lost.
Right.
That's
how?
I'm very.
How? First of all, how have you lost to that Raiders team for 5 straight games or whatever it's been? Second, how do you lose to John Gruden's Raiders?
Last time they played each other was in Pittsburgh, and I was out in Pittsburgh the day before I went to a Notre Dame versus Pitt college game. And when I went to the hotel, a bunch of Raiders fans were partying Saturday night. The game was Saturday at noon, and a bunch of the next game was Sunday at 1. And there was a bunch of Raiders fans at the hotel partying at night when I got back to the hotel. So I was partying with the Raiders fans.
That was a party.
Oh, dude, it was great, dude. We had a blast. 2 of them were actually from California. One was from Michigan. They were really cool people.
Sounds like a great party.
And this is back when the Eagles were just like, poor Eagles, they're never gonna win a Super Bowl. So they just thought I was just like, lovable, I was, good old pal. Like I wasn't a threat to them. I'm in the NFC. They
still are or whatever.
Well, they loved it. So I had a good time. They were good people. And they won. I remember rooting for them the next day. I didn't care. I don't ever root for or against the Steelers or the Raiders. I don't care about either franchise. But the next day going home, because I knew those guys were going to the game, and gals, because their wives were there, and other people, whatever. I was hoping that their team won because I had a good time with them, and I knew they were going to have a good time with the game. And I remember seeing that the Raiders beat them like 3 straight times going into that, and then they beat them that day. I do remember that.
So, yeah, 5.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's some shit.
So,
isn't that weird?
Yeah, it is. That's a very odd
that's
stat.
That's
a stat guy.
Well, mostly.
It's his whole career. He might have never beat the Raiders. The Raiders were good at the beginning of his career, too. The Raiders were really good at the beginning of his career.
For 1 year.
No, they had another 2-year stretch where they made the playoffs and lost. Gannon broke the record 2 years later for yards in the season, didn't he?
I don't know his life. If it was post Jerry Rice, that's embarrassing. Just throw that out there.
I want to say it was.
It would have had to have been.
I think it was the last year they were good and made the playoffs, and they lost to San Diego. I think. Anyways. Back to this week.
Yeah, you can't lose to them. This ain't that Raiders team.
You see how excited John Gruden was?
I bet he was. It's nice to get a W after you lost like
especially over a team that people legitimately think are a Super Bowl contender.
Especially when everybody's pointing at you.
Yeah.
You got Amari Cooper and Khalil Mack out here.
People are calling him the GM of the year, but only because they made the Bears and the Cowboys so good.
He made America's team great again. See
and,
what I did there?
And he made the Bears
Relevant.
a good defense again. They were actually had talent. He just Khalil Mack brings it all together. Back to Oakland.
Garbage.
I just said about the Steelers being an actual legit Super Bowl team. Do you feel both running backs being down? Well, not both. One running back being down, the other one being mocked, and now they kind of obviously need him. Do you feel like the Steelers are a legit threat still to go? Could they beat Kansas City? Could they beat New England? Could they beat either, if not both?
I like beat New England.
Could they beat LA, the Chargers?
No. Chargers. I don't know why I was thinking about say Rams. Chargers, I'm sure.
Okay, so they could beat the Chargers.
Chargers so unproven, who knows?
Okay, I agree with that.
Sure.
I agree, and I agree with you that they could beat New England, but they would have to get New England in Pittsburgh.
Not necessarily.
Do you think they can go to Foxborough and beat them, even without Le'Veon Bell and James Conner?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
These aren't your New England Patriots.
Okay, I agree with that. But see, my thing with the Patriots is, even though they're not as good as, because we're used to them being sky high, out of this world good, I think they're somewhere in the middle though. I don't think they're as bad as everyone thinks. I think they are. I think they're. I still think that in Foxborough they're as tough to beat as anybody.
Not what they were, but sure it's tough. But
nobody.
I don't think anybody's scared to go Foxborough at this point.
Do you think Pittsburgh could go to Kansas City?
No.
I don't either.
No. I don't know.
Do you think New England could go to Kansas City? Now that we're talking about it.
No.
Kansas City doesn't have a too difficult schedule moving out, and so they'll most likely have home field if they don't trip over themselves.
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
And then everybody's going to them.
Mm-hmm. And
you just saw what they did to look, Baltimore.
right, at that point,
put it back on
Bowl.
track.
At that point, they're in the Super Bowl.
If they get home field, I think it's going to be very hard to
the
knock
way that we
them.
just brought that.
I
down,
agree.
yeah.
No, because
I'm not wavering off the Steelers, but I mean,
you start talking. We talked about the only two teams that have a realistic shot to, I would think, even beat Kansas City, because the rest of it you're looking at is like Baltimore or Miami or
no, hell no.
You know what I mean? Like that's who's fighting for the wild card position. The Chargers. The Chargers are beating Kansas City.
That's the sleeper, sure.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that, those are the teams fighting for the spots here for the last two spots. Those are the last three teams, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Chargers will be the sleeper in all of that, but everybody else is unknown.
Because New England and Kansas City will get a bye, and then Pittsburgh will get a bye, and then Houston, or not Pittsburgh. I'm saying New England and Kansas City will get a bye, and then Pittsburgh and Houston would host first round games. Houston's not going to Kansas City and beating Kansas City, right?
I just had to think about everything you just said now.
And then Pittsburgh would host probably the Chargers.
Yeah. Which, that could go either way.
And Houston would host Miami or Indianapolis or
whoever's going to lose to one of those other two teams.
Baltimore.
Yeah. So it's basically Kansas City in the field.
So Kansas City's our
At
AFC favorite that we just broke down.
At that point. I mean, I guess at that point it would have to be.
I agree.
They could still fuck around and beat New England. That's disgusting. Because nobody would be shocked by that.
If it was what, New England?
Still New England.
Oh no, that's what I just was
that's
telling you. That I don't think
disgusting.
their ceiling clearly isn't as high, and I agree, and we'll give that to everybody. But everybody's just knocking them off this pedestal like they're some middle of the road team. On the road, they do not play well. I will give you that, but they are still above par.
I'll say this about Kansas. Well, yeah, I'd say this about Kansas City. They're still Kansas City, and they still have Andy Reid in
the playoffs. And I agree. Okay, situational. So. We will totally agree all day on situational and time management and all that kind of stuff. Andy Reid is not the best at. And when you get into an AFC Championship game against Bill Belichick, I would be very.
It might fall apart.
It is not.
But they shouldn't.
With a young quarterback?
But they shouldn't.
I agree because they will have the talent. But with a young quarterback against Brady, what did you just say? We wouldn't be surprised, right? I mean, we're just breaking down the easiest scenario of what could. Tell me 2 minutes to go. Kansas City gets that ball down 27-20 like they were against Baltimore. They score?
Mahomes throwing a pick.
There you go.
Yeah. And yeah.
But we agree.
Yep.
So that's what we have to say about Oakland and Pittsburgh.
Yep.
This is the good part about JD Sports, though. We can go down some rabbit holes. Speaking of going down rabbit holes, I think I could personally try out for the Eagles and play cornerback as good as the Eagles cornerbacks are playing.
Fly.
Even when the
Fly.
defender knows.
Excuse me, I got something in my throat.
Even when the defender knows what Amari Cooper was going to do and makes the right play on it, he still tips the ball in the air for Amari Cooper to catch and score a touchdown and win the game.
Yep.
That's how Sunday went.
Sunday went great. Fly Eagles, huh?
It was like there wasn't one thing. And I said this to my cousin before the game.
Where's my broom, by the way?
It was going to be as torturous as possible. Like, it wasn't going to be like a blowout. It was going to be like the rest of the season was. Like, you could see there was things there where they were good enough to win, and they were good enough to be better than they are, and they were good enough to do it. But at the end of the day, they looked miserable.
Vegas Super Bowl champions over. I stand by that quote anyway.
I mean, literally from the opening kickoff, it was just downhill.
Go ahead. Let me
not
know.
fun.
Let me know how that ruined the whole game. Let me know. Come on, Philly.
For me personally, yeah.
Come on,
I mean,
Philly.
I
Let me
wasn't
know. Let me
checked
know how that
into
was
the
the
rest
game.
of the game. I think that it had a cloud over the Eagles, but the Eagles had many of opportunities. Look, a missed extra point.
I bring that up because every single one of y'all, literally, outside of one person who was like, you know what? No, yeah, we just lost. Okay, thank you. Because something 5 seconds into a game.
Oh, I just said it in that text for it to fire you up. I don't actually feel
I
that
understand
way.
that, but no, there was legitimacy from other ends.
Yeah, I know that.
But no, you ain't gonna tell somebody, you ain't gonna tell me 5 seconds into any damn game that was the difference maker, especially a result that results in 0 points. Are you fucking kidding me?
So, I agree with.
Well, you know the whole refs in the pockets joke, which is what I brought up last week and I think the week before. It's just it's such a tired thing, especially when you're about to list 40 other things that fucking happened throughout the course of that game, which should have been
The refs in critical situations did the things that were very questionable that helped the Cowboys for sure. I understand.
Sure.
But-
Cowboys also had 5 penalties to your 11. Go ahead.
The other side of it,
Details. People forget details when not necessarily you. I'm just saying. in
the
general.
missed extra point.
Yep. There's the game right there.
I mean, that made me very angry.
Is that not the game right there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
That
okay.
went to the game.
People forget about that. For some reason, people forgot about that. Nobody brings that up. And I was like, what about that mistake? Oh, yeah. These are Eagles fans who
They
watched
missed-
this game. But
they-
they want to talk about the referees.
Look, the Eagles left about, I would say, 8 points on the field before overtime, and that's
All right.
they could have won the game. And they also, don't get me wrong, the Cowboys left 25 points
Sure.
out on the field. If we're being honest, the Cowboys
Yeah, of course,
dominated them. I'm not going to deny
Y'all
that.
forced, 3 turnovers?
Yeah.
How
and-
many points came off turnovers?
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Dak.
Y'all had 0 offense that first half?
Right. Exactly. Dak helped them out. Look, and that's that. So my other
Yeah,
side.
Dak
of this is,
absolutely helped y'all out. He was a problem.
yeah. So my biggest thing with this is the Eagles do get the ball, which for sure. I don't know. I can't explain how the NFL got to the conclusion they got to, and it doesn't matter. If the Eagles, let's say the Eagles do get the ball, right? Carson did not move the ball at all. Carson actually, I think he had less than 50 yards in the first half overall, okay?
Correct.
So, what do they get, 3 yards on the drive, and then they kick the field goal?
And miss it?
Even if they don't. Okay.
Okay.
The game, but that, whatever, then they literally get 3 points in the first half. That's all they would have had.
Right.
And who knows how the second half goes.
So that would have been 3 to what? 9? What? I don't remember.
Whatever
what
it
that
was, yeah.
Right, come on. Okay, I'm glad you brought all these points up because my overall thing was because I've had these conversations with the Eagles fans, and like I said, there was one who actually was like, yeah, you know what? No, we fucking blew that. That's bullshit. And we suck. I was like, yeah. And I'm not saying we're great by any means, but there were so many other opportunities outside the officiating that y'all should have and could have capitalized on.
I will admit that, of course, it probably had some kind of effect over the first couple minutes of their next...
That should not have had any effect. That first play should not have had any effect. We got a whole game. If we're the Super Bowl champs, if we're flustered over that, we need to quit.
Well, look, I agree. I think that it wasn't something that took them out of the game completely, but I do think that it was in the back of their minds probably for the first couple minutes. They got a 3-and-out to your point right off the bat, and then the offense went 3-and-out.
Boom. Right. Yeah. Right. So even the end. Whatever. There was a million other things. There was a million other issues with Philadelphia in that situation, and we'll get to the Cowboys side.
So the Eagles, also in a situation last year, earlier in the season, probably about week 10, I would say, against Carolina last year, similar situation late in the game, right, where they scored a touchdown and they could kick the extra point and tie it, or they could go for 2 and win it, right? And they went for 2 and won it. It was a Thursday night in Carolina. They're 4 for 4 this year on 2-point conversions.
Okay.
They're 68% on 4th downs this year, which is higher than they were last year. And they didn't have as many 2-point conversions last year. I think they were 2 for 4 last year going into the playoffs.
Okay.
And they only had a 62% conversion on 4th down last year. So they're better in short yardage, one-play situations, okay, this year than they were last year. Opportunity, same exact opportunity this year except Cowboys, not Carolina. On the road, about 2 minutes to go, have a chance to take the lead instead of tie the game. Doug elected to kick the field goal.
So you would have won.
Kick the extra point. I'm not saying no. I will. Let me go back to all this. Since Doug Peterson's first year, I have been on the record, and maybe not here, but with all of my Eagles friends and family, I would not go for most of the things that he goes for, and I would usually kick the extra point. I was expecting, the way that Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, to their credit, because I know people give them a lot of slack, to their credit, they were...
Makes no sense because Troy Aikman is very objective.
They
as
were...
much as people claim he's not, but whatever.
They were all over this. Before the Eagles even scored the touchdown, when the Eagles were driving, they kept saying if the Eagles score, they expected Doug Peterson to go for 2 because that's what Doug has done since he's been there. Would I go for 2? No, but I wouldn't have went for 2 last year against Carolina, and it worked. And I wouldn't have done some of the stuff they did in the Super Bowl, and it worked. And he looks like a crazy hero when it works, and he would look really dumb if he did it and it didn't work. But my point is I wouldn't do it just because I played differently, but whatever. He decided to go against his guns. And I'm not criticizing him for kicking the extra point. Because of course that's what I would do. I'm criticizing. I'm questioning. I'm not even criticizing. I'm questioning.
He's criticizing.
What would be the difference? Why? What is all of a sudden now? You got to do what gets you there. And I wasn't disappointed when the extra when the field goal team came out, but I said right then and there the Eagles aren't getting the ball back because if Dallas got the ball in overtime, I knew that they would just bleed the clock down. Even if they kicked a field goal, I figured they'd bleed the clock down to under 5 minutes, under 3 minutes. They scored their touchdown with under 2 minutes. I thought they would get it under 5 at least.
I didn't think it was going. I don't think.
Did you see the time of possession going into overtime?
I didn't see it.
It was 21 to.
But we paid the referees, right? No, instead we just dominated.
No, and that's my point going into overtime is when he put the extra point team out there. I said if the Eagles lose the coin toss, they're not seeing the ball back. Which, again, I kicked the extra point anyways.
Right.
But it's just not Doug, and so I was. You add that into everything we just said on top of it. There's so many more factors than, of course, just the refs or just the missed extra point at the beginning.
Abysmal, but come on, man. Like you said, you just went through how many different things that the Eagles could have, should have done, and
the Eagles were dominated and still had many opportunities to win the football game.
Let's talk about the execution. Let's talk about the play call. Let's talk about Carson not even trying to air it out. Like, let's talk about that.
And he missed so many throws in the
He was out
first
there,
half.
and this is almost an insult at this point to Dak, but he was out there throwing like he was Dak Prescott.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Digging and dunking, except it was failing.
Yeah, and then the second half he comes out playing a whole
A
different.
little better, a lot better.
Yeah, his throws at least
He was chucking it down the damn field.
At least the ones in the second half that weren't completed were good throws. Like the ones in the first half that weren't completed, he was just. It was
I'm
miserable.
convinced Jason Garrett was calling plays for y'all.
Ah man, that's enough. Doug, I don't.
Let's look right. A million other
Might be
issues
time
with the
for
Eagles
him
at
to
this
pass the play calling over, which I said a couple weeks ago, but it's getting very.
Who's he gonna give it to?
I don't know at the moment, but they got to bring in a different offense coordinator next year because he just. It seems like there's a lot on his plate, and the 2-point conversion at the end is probably everything added up onto it. Mm-hmm. But he did not call a good first half. I mean, the Eagles.
I mean,
not just the first half. This game.
In fairness, that offense was barely on the field.
Okay, but yes,
but when they were, they look like an.
Let me take you broader
They
than
look
this
like
game.
the most non-Super Bowl team.
The Eagles have one first quarter touchdown this year. It was last week against the Redskins.
Yeah, there you go. So is that
That's
him?
it.
Is that Carson? Who's that?
That's got to be play calling as much as anything. Now, look,
I
it.
don't watch enough Eagles.
Carson most likely won't be playing in this upcoming week, and we'll talk about that. I said in the beginning of the year, and you kind of chuckled, but you understood what I was saying. If Carson Wentz has to sit for all season for my son to grow up and know that Carson Wentz is the Eagles quarterback still, then I'm okay with it. Do you remember me saying things like that? Okay, well, Carson Wentz, if he's not fully healthy, which it sounds like he might not be fully healthy, I don't understand why he was out there in the beginning of the year, because I will always go back to I would have sat him the entire season if that's what it took to make sure he was healthy long term, because that is way more important than this one particular season. And when you start boiling it down to it, where you look at the defense losing all three of their starting quarterbacks, and then one of their only ones that can still play is still playing injured, and he's just out there. Sidney Jones out there getting. He looks like horrible out there, but he's injured. Like it's not his fault. You start adding all that in, it's like you didn't need to bring Carson back if he was never actually fully healthy. So that's a different conversation. But that might be why he doesn't look the way he looked last year. That would absolutely, if he was still injured, be the reason he doesn't look the way he did last year.
I don't think it has anything to do with it, but that's just me.
I
think it's every other factor that you named outside of him being hurt.
The coaching?
That. Torrey Smith isn't this
Offensive
great
line
player
hasn't.
y'all act like he is.
No, Snagler.
Whatever, him too. Well, he damn sure is not. Right.
The offensive line hasn't played as well. They're not getting the production from the running back outside of Josh Adams, really. Sproles had a couple of good carries in his 2 games back, but he can't, he doesn't seem to stay healthy. Back to the cornerbacks. Rasul Douglas, man. Amari Cooper had like 210 yards.
I'm so glad y'all learned y'all lesson against Zeke. I'm so glad you figured out we have one wide receiver. I'm so glad.
The Eagles just didn't blitz at all.
I'm so glad y'all figured this out. I'm so glad you allowed Dak Prescott to throw over 400 yards. Dak Prescott missed the 200
well, half
himself.
of them, to be fair, were to one
I don't
guy.
give a damn. It doesn't.
But that's
such a irrelevant little jab, but whatever.
But that's
to be fair, it was only one guy. Well, you just stopped that one guy, did you?
No,
400 yards.
Well, that's a testament to how the Eagles have one guy in their secondary that literally played an NFL game before the season. They're getting absolutely destroyed. They're so unhealthy. It's not even funny. Yeah, they're playing with literal practice squad players out there trying to cover Amari Cooper.
Garbage. They're playing with literal garbage.
I told you
what the hell it is.
What did I tell you going into the Saints game?
Okay, right. 400 yards.
Since before that, the game before that, I told you it's going to get real ugly. Their secondary is going to get real ugly with those injuries, and it got real ugly. I told you how bad it was going to look, and it has not. It has looked that bad every single week.
You and I should not be allowing Dak Prescott though for 400 yards.
I mean, I told you, like I can literally go out there and try out for the Eagles. I started this out by saying I go out there, try out for the Eagles, and maybe put a little better effort in. Maybe, I don't know. I'll probably get tired.
Abysmal.
They're using guys who should not be on an NFL football field. We all agree with that. The Eagles agree with that, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
That.
Oh, can we talk about the team that won now?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious if we were ever going to get to the team that actually won the fun game, or are we just going to stay on this team that actually is garbage and lost the game?
I got a question for you about Dallas.
I'm pretty sure we're talking about the team that just won 5 straight.
I got a question for you about Dallas.
Sure. There's a million things to talk about Dallas right now. What's the first thing you want to talk about?
They're going to host a game in the playoffs.
We went straight to the playoffs. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well,
I wasn't going anywhere near that.
They're going to win the division. Who else is going to challenge them for the division, Dwight?
Nobody.
Okay, so they're going to host a game in the playoffs, all right? So let's just say they win that one. I'm not even hypothetically who they play or what would happen. Let's say they win that one, okay? They would have to go on the road to either LA or New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they can win in either of them, if not both?
No.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I'm not going to sit here and lie. I'm not going to be stupid. No, that would be just absolutely a lie and stupid of me.
To do what they did against Philadelphia and still only win in overtime, yeah, it's going to be really hard to be able to beat a much better team.
Look. This damn game exposed a lot. I've said it a million times. I don't keep saying it. Dak's good looks great. His bad looks so fucking bad, and he looked. And when his bad was exposed during this game against the Eagles, man, he just looks absolutely abysmal and stupid. Yeah, he put up 400 yards, which is all absolutely hilarious for other reasons.
He was on his backside a lot, though.
And that's been the issue. His fumbling is what my real issue is.
Yeah.
Ain't got nothing to do with.
He did it again.
Yeah, he did. What, twice?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more than an issue. He's getting hit way too often. Some of that's his fault. A lot of that's the offensive line fault. They finally got Tyron Smith back, and he did nothing but be a fucking hindrance throughout that game, causing many offside penalties, which I'm assuming he's just off. Okay, so let that slide. But
yeah, he had 3 penalties.
But yeah, I mean that absolutely exposes that situation. I mean, you got I don't know where the fuck I'm going with this, but shouts to Amari Cooper, I'll at least say, because he's been a hell of a fucking difference maker.
That's the Amari Cooper I saw in college, man. He was incredible in college.
He's still not worth that first round pick. I will stand by that. That's like he's gonna have to keep putting up these same damn numbers for the rest of his career as a Dallas Cowboy for me to say that he was worth it.
Which is almost impossible to do what he's doing right now for the rest of a career.
Right, but he's still not. It's still not worth it. But
same amount of games, 6 and 6, 5 more touchdowns, double the amount of yards,
mm-hmm.
double the amount of catches.
He's been a help, and all of our numbers offensively are completely up and through the roof.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So shouts to him. I'm not even mad at that situation. Back to the damn game itself, which a point I wanted to bring up. Going back to these fucking Eagles. Going into when we're in overtime and we're going for it, I about threw my damn phone through the damn television screen while we're going for it on 4th down. I'm kicking the field goal, and I was literally like, "Are you kidding me right now?" They banked on Zeke Elliott. It worked out. I wasn't cool with it. I still wasn't cool with it. The fact that it worked. And then it looked like we were still going to end up having to kick the field goal, so I was like, okay. And then the catch that was a tap in happened, and then it worked out. Still wasn't a good call to me. Still embarrassing as far as I'm concerned for y'all, because y'all should have stopped them. But whatever, y'all didn't learn to stop Ezekiel Elliott, especially straight up the middle. Whatever, that's your own problems.
Jim Schwartz went from head coaching candidate to a lot of people don't even think he'll be the Eagles' defensive coordinator next year. The way this is going, which
it's
on top of the bad cornerbacks happening to them, his play calling hasn't helped.
It's abysmal. I said I want to go back to Vander Esch because he's been balling the hell out. He's definitely defensive rookie of the year. Period. The end. You don't lead the league in tackles or solo tackles, whatever the hell it was, leading into this game, and not become defensive player of the year, rookie of the year. But my big thing was, did you hear Jerry Jones was, of course, can't go a fucking segment without talking about him, but his nut ass said that, because Sean Lee is apparently about to be clear to play if he's not already at this point, he was saying Sean Lee should be coming back and getting his role back.
Oh, okay. It's a great idea. Great idea. Yeah.
It's absolutely not a great idea. What? You got a rookie?
Jerry Jones is super loyal to these people.
You got a rookie linebacker out here who is leading the league in whatever the hell he's leading, tackles, double, solo, whatever the hell it is.
Staying on the field.
Right. He is literally everywhere. He is literally. And while I was watching this Eagles game out, and they brought that point up saying that Jerry was talking about this, I was like, he is literally the healthy, more athletic, younger Sean Lee. He is doing exactly what that healthy, younger, more athletic Sean Lee does, which is be the general of the defense.
Him and Jalen Smith are all over the place. Like, they are.
Right, and David, like, there's 2 or 3 dudes, there's like 3 dudes on that defense that are at every play.
Yeah.
They are at the ball at all times, no matter where it's at. And he's one of those dudes, and as the younger, better, healthier version of Sean Lee, tell Sean Lee to sit his ass down, be the linebacker coach, cool, whatever. I'm good with that. He could be a great linebacker coach or whatever. Or put him the opposite side, be the backup. There's no shame in that. And he'll stay healthy. Why the hell would you take Van Der Esch out at this point? That's
I don't understand.
I don't know if he means it or not,
that.
but he said it, and I was just like, you're fucking with me right now.
I don't know why he would think that's a good idea.
I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but he said that Sean Lee should. No, he should not, Jerry. Knock it off. Knock it off. So, anyway. Cowboys defense for first time in a very long time, if not ever,
Playing well.
is, overall. It's that front court ain't damn sure ain't the back.
I'll give you that.
But this is the first time I can ever recall saying that over the offense, I mean, the offenses look better recently, but over the offense, they are the story.
Yeah, they carried them to the most of the season.
They are the story right now, which is weird for the Dallas Cowboys. But, as we're seeing right now, defense is out here winning some games, so...
Speaking of defensive winning games...
I ain't saying these motherfucking Cowboys going to the Super Bowl, but this defense is looking... It's solid, and considering what they did against New Orleans, they can fuck around and do something.
Speaking of defense winning games, Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
4 interceptions against the Rams, held the Rams under 10 points.
Defense fucking around and doing something.
6 points, right?
6.
17-6.
Mm-hmm.
Not that Chicago's offense looked good, but their defense was all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Shut down an offense that hasn't been shut down all year.
Yeah, I mean, I almost said St. Louis again. St. Louis, San
What's the
Diego,
difference?
same shit. No, I mean, the Rams will do it with one. I mean, you can't. I don't think it's. This man is not going to throw 4 interceptions every damn game. So, I mean, there's no reason to overreact. If anybody is overreacting, everybody needs to relax. The Rams are who we think they are, which is a very good team that's going to be there in the end.
A December game in Chicago will not feel the same as a January game in L.A. And they're not playing anywhere except for L.A. or New Orleans, so they're going to be in a dome if they happen to not play in L.A. So they're going to be fine.
Right.
He's not throwing 4 interceptions in a warm place.
He ain't throwing it in a cold place again.
Do you think Chicago is more like Dallas, or do you think they have a chance to go through New Orleans and L.A.?
Wait, what?
Do you think Chicago, who is leading their division, is more like Dallas?
As far as what?
You don't think that Dallas is going to make it through New Orleans or L.A. Do you think that Chicago could?
They're probably
Do you think they're more like the Chargers, where they have a better chance in your mind? They might not be. The
yeah,
team
they have
do
a
it.
better chance than the Chargers. I'd say that defense has a better chance. I would think.
Okay. The NFC is a little more open.
Compared to Dallas, I think Dallas has a far better offense than the Chicago Bears does. But that
I agree.
That Bears defense, though, they might have the edge. They still might have the edge just because that defense is insane.
But I'm saying, do you think so? You think Chicago could go through New Orleans and LA though?
More than Dallas could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's crazy.
But you don't think they could do it though?
Hell to the no.
Agreed.
You fuck around and get 1, you ain't getting 2.
2 teams that are in the playoff mix that I didn't even bring up played on Monday night: Minnesota and Seattle.
Seattle, man, I'm telling you. Was this 3 straight, 4 straight, where they're down and then here we go, Russell Wilson.
Yeah, and Minnesota
Let me put up 3 touchdowns real quick.
Yeah,
Let me come back being down.
Minnesota's
and win.
offense didn't have a first down until late in the third quarter.
That doesn't make any sense.
They only had 7 points in the whole game. They ended up Minnesota fired their offensive coordinator the day after.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. They also don't have their quarterback, so I mean.
No, they do. They have Minnesota.
Yeah, I don't know.
Kirk Cousins.
He's still playing.
Yeah.
I thought he was hurt.
No.
Well, Kirk Cousins is going to Kirk Cousins.
$70+ million guaranteed, $100 million contract. My question to you: he's 0-5 this year against teams with winning records.
Mm.
And his career is like 0-8 in primetime games. 0-3 this year. We're not even a year in. Is the Kirk Cousins experiment a bad one for Minnesota?
Has to be.
I will grant
It
it.
still doesn't feel like it should be.
It's
but
too early.
it is,
His
but
numbers
it
are
is.
still good. If you look at Kirk Cousins'
Yeah,
numbers, they're
he's
fine.
Kirk Cousins.
But right, his numbers are always good. And they always have 6 to 8 wins.
It's just he don't close the deal.
He don't be good teams either.
He has such a better wide receiver situation too.
It was like 2 years ago. Washington had a chance to make the playoffs, and all they had to do was beat the Giants. They had to go up to New York and beat them. And that was the year that the Giants won, and they took the boat picture because they all went on the boat that night.
Mm.
But, like, that's Kirk Cousins' career in a nutshell. Like, can't even beat Eli. Like, 33, 35-year-old Eli.
Mm.
You knew they weren't winning in Seattle on Monday night, right? Like, it's Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, they don't have anywhere else to go at this point.
Okay, so everyone is on them, right? Right. A lot of
Anywhere
people.
else
I've
to
heard a
go.
lot of people on them about.
Changing the quarterback ain't gonna help it.
A lot of people on them about this is, what if this isn't a good thing or it isn't going to work out or whatever. My thing is what else? What was their other option in the offseason, right? Because didn't they have?
Absolutely nothing.
I'm looking at the guy. He plays for Denver now. Case Keenum, and who was the other guy? Sam Bradford, and they had Teddy Bridgewater. They had those 3 quarterbacks last year, right? So their option was to either try to move forward with any of them or go and find another quarterback. The only quarterback on the market, we all agree, was Kirk Cousins, right? There wasn't any other good quarterback on the open market unless you were going to try to figure out how to draft one, but we weren't going to draft one and say he was going to take them. Look, they needed to win 2 more games to exceed what they did last year. Last year they made it to the NFC Championship. So all they can literally do is they can either go backwards, which has more margin to do, or go forward, which has a lot less margin to do. So clearly we knew they weren't going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Mm-mm.
Like, I didn't have any other option. They have to do that deal every time. I just talked to somebody the other day about this. The Phillies signed Andrew McCutchen for $50 million, right? Probably overpaid him. Okay? Dude was just making fun of the Phillies for it. And I was like, well, please tell me in this market what would you pay somebody? Because, like, of course, like if you have to, then that's what you have to do. The Vikings had to pay Kirk Cousins, right?
They assumed they were going to do something, yeah.
Did you think that? But they didn't think they were going to win the Super Bowl.
They thought they did.
You think they realistically thought they were going to be better this year than they were last year?
Yeah, why wouldn't I? Yeah.
Because Kirk Cousins might be a step better than Case Keenum, but
More than a step better than Case Keenum.
nothing indicates that their roster is better than the top-notch rosters, though.
I'm sure they thought they were, though. It's easy for you to say that as Jared Hood, who has no stake in this. I'm sure they thought they were. I thought they were going to be better. Yeah, easily. On paper, that's a hell of an upgrade. Great.
I thought they would win the division.
Okay, so that's still saying that they were going to be better.
Yeah. They're 6-6-1?
So I don't know their damn record. They should have been a lot better than what they are. Yeah, easily.
They tied
Absolutely.
the Packers. It's such a weird division. Chicago, Minnesota, Green Bay, and the Lions. Like, all of them are kind of good, but kind of bad.
Garbage.
Right?
All of them are kind of good, kind of garbage.
Well, how's
Except
Chicago?
the
But this year. But I'm talking about as a whole, that division, right? Usually Green Bay is the top. But when Green Bay's not, it's just a weird combination. And, like, Minnesota, did you think they were one of the 4 best teams last year?
I don't remember, bro. I don't know. They were there. I don't know what the hell I thought we won the 4, but I don't fucking know, bro. Pull up the tape from last year and you. The hell? Look, bottom line is
They're not running as
they
well this
should
year
have
as they
been
were
better.
last year,
They
and that's
should
part
have
of
been
it.
better with
Okay.
Kirk Cousins. Is what I thought. Yeah, 1,000%. I thought that was a no-brainer.
But it is also only year 1 of 3.
That's either a good thing or a bad thing for the rest of the division.
Well, I got you, but next year
It's looking like it's a good thing, but
they can improve again next year. Anything to talk about? Sports related?
no, I'm so done with Minnesota. And Kirk fucking Cousins. What's next?
Well, that's
Other
it for
than your
games.
leg.
We're gonna pick
Getting on my damn nerves.
games soon. The only thing, their report came out about the college football playoffs expanding to 8,
Jesus Christ. Okay.
which I think they should.
We know.
So you don't want to hear the outline for how they should probably do it.
Have you not told us this every single year that we've been doing a show, including last week and the week before?
Maybe.
I'm just curious.
Not the outline.
What's the outline, Jared?
So you gotta go 6 automatic bids, the power 5.
I don't understand that shit, but whatever. It's redundant. I don't want to know. Continue.
The power 5, the winner of all power 5 conferences. Okay, so that's 5 of the 6.
logical. Okay.
And then the 6th one has to be like
This is a fucking wild card.
the UCF. No, because it has to, because
So
there's
you're going
two,
to throw the one team that's always going to lose the first
and there's
round?
2 at large. Yes, because we agree. UCF would be number 8 and they would lose to
So it's
Alabama.
a sympathy bet. It's
No, it's not. It's because I do think that they would deserve the shot at
to
Alabama.
lose.
I just don't think they beat Alabama. I think they deserve the shot, though. I
To
think they
lose.
deserve the opportunity. But okay, look,
To do the miracle.
in the last 10 years, okay, if you break this into a 10-year sample, that last automatic bid, only one time would a team have more than one loss in the last 10 years. So they all have one loss or 0.
But are they really deserving $1 billion in that situation?
I think they're more deserving than, like, Michigan.
Do they really... Okay, I guess a better phrase of this question would be, would they really be a competitive option to the rest of those teams that are automatically all already going to be there?
9 out of 10 times, no.
I don't watch college football and I figured this out. College football's so broken. I can't. I don't want to know.
But I'm not looking. I'm
football.
looking for fair.
Not looking. 40-0 is fair.
Okay,
Because
but
that 10,
putting Michigan in there. Okay, but putting
because that 17-0 team that got snubbed because they suck because they don't beat.
all right. Let's say Michigan's the 9th team right now. Okay, and let's say we
College
put them
football's so
instead
flawed.
of
I don't
UCF.
understand how they ask fans.
Let's say we put Michigan in there instead of UCF.
I don't understand how college football has fans. I'm listening.
Because Michigan versus Alabama sounds more attractive. I understand that. But Michigan still loses to Alabama by 20-plus points. So what's the difference?
So why the hell would what?
Because they deserve it. And
They
the other...
deserve it. Just give somebody a fucking bye. Because 99% of the time, that's what it's going to be, ain't it?
Yeah.
College football's so broken. God.
Notre Dame would have to play like Ohio State while Alabama got to play UCF. Like, don't get me wrong.
It's the biggest flawed system.
Yes.
And it's only going to get worse. It's not getting better. It's getting worse. It's more convoluted and stupid than ever.
They need to figure out how to get away from the 5 and go to 2 conference things, which that'll never happen. There's too much money involved with 5. But if you could split this up into 2 and then have a third of just being your at-large, it'd be a lot easier. Then you could do 6 teams, 2 have a bye.
I'm assuming that would be better. It sounds a little better.
Oh yeah, that system, way better. They're not going to do. They can't do that though. There's too much money involved. The SEC will never break up their little clan. The ACC will never break up their little one. The Big Ten will never. Everyone's too invested in their own little. The bigger picture, the
10
more
teams that are always going to be in the finals.
No. 8 teams.
Oh,
but-
my bad.
No, it's split. It's hard to explain. It's split up into.
It's always
So
gonna
the
be
Power
the same
Five.
rotation of teams that are going to be in the finals.
No.
Yes.
No, because eventually Florida State will rise to the top above Clemson or
When? 30 years from now?
NC State. No, I'm talking. No, Clemson won't run this for the next 10 years. Alabama's the only team that got a monopoly on this. Georgia's only been good for 2 years. Washington was in the playoff last year. Clemson's only been good for 3 years.
So, what I say for the...
Notre Dame, this is
What'd
the
I
first
say?
time they're in it.
What I say,
Now they're
5
always
teams?
around the top 10.
What I say, 5 or 10? Whatever. College football is the most convoluted fuck.
If you take the top 8 teams over the last 8 years,
Shit's worse than soccer.
you would have actually, I think, 6 different teams every year. That's what it was. It's pretty good.
Sounds like it.
Great pick.
Yeah, because I don't know why anybody watches that, but I know why everybody watches the NFL.
Thursday night. Chargers taking on Kansas City.
Mhm.
In Kansas City.
Uh-huh.
I mean, after our conversation earlier about Kansas City, it'd be really funny for both of us to go LA.
So, you're going LA?
No, I'm going Kansas City.
No.
You?
Well, you're no fun. Going to Kansas City.
You taking Kansas City as well?
Kansas City, here I come. Everybody loves old Michael. I got cheese.
Houston taking on the Jets?
On a fucking Saturday. You forgot that detail. We're on that kick.
Yeah,
4:30 in the afternoon.
I saw that.
You gonna watch that? You gonna watch college? You should watch. No, there's no college.
Yeah, there's
Is
going to
there?
be one.
Okay.
I don't know. I have to go to my grandma's. We'll see.
That's a lot better than the meaningless bowl game. Or
I mean,
this-
it might be on, like, if there's a TV there. It depends on what time I leave my grandma's. Probably yes.
I'm sure it's gonna be a lot better and more noteworthy than a meaningless bowl game and a terrible NFL game. So yeah, you should not watch this. I
I'll
got
probably end up watching it.
got the nut ass Texans.
I got the Texans too. Cleveland taking on Denver.
It's a Saturday primetime game. Maybe that's some shit.
Feeling dangerous.
Why?
That's what Baker Mayfield said when he woke up feeling dangerous.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Jesus. I thought you was gonna say I'm feeling dangerous with your pick, and I was like, well, why's
No.
that? Okay, you're not. Because I am.
Who you taking?
Cleveland.
Hey, 6-win
I
Cleveland.
got Cleveland.
I'm taking Denver.
I took Cleveland for LOLs. I got a couple of those LOLs on here, but yeah, Cleveland's the first LOL, and I was just like,
I can see Cleveland winning it.
yeah.
Denver's been
yeah,
inconsistent.
It's not really out there.
Cleveland's been inconsistent.
It's not really out there.
It's still good.
It's not really out there.
Washington taking on Jacksonville.
I giggled at it. Who?
Cody Kessler.
Washington. Where's that pick on my paper? Washington taking on Jacksonville. I got Washington.
I got Jacksonville.
Why?
Because Washington's playing like with Mark Sanchez or another really bad quarterback.
Damn, I didn't take this into consideration. I just assumed I'm gonna say Mark Bolger. This is the state that Dwight's in. Who's the quarterback for
Alex
Jay Lions?
Smith. Oh. Blake Bortles. No, Cody Kessler's playing. Blake Bortles hasn't played in like 13 quarters, 12
That's
quarters.
even worse. So it's like a third. Oh, geez.
Oh yeah. No, we got literally. Okay, so we either have Mark
wow,
Sanchez.
Dwight's all fucked up about this.
We have Mark Sanchez or Mark Sanchez's backup, right? Who I don't know his name.
Can I pick a tie?
Versus Cody Kessler.
I get credit if I get the tie.
Dude, this is like quarterback critiquing people's dreams. They're gonna sit there and just watch this game and just critique every throw.
I'm going Washington. I'm just gonna stick with that.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, that's woo. Wow. How much do you think tickets are for that? $3?
Oh, dude, I'm locked in. I'm watching that game. The
I'm
Eagles don't.
gonna say you trying to go to Jacksonville? Real quick?
No, the Eagles just don't play until 8:25 on Sunday night. So I 1 o'clock. I'm locked in Sunday.
You can spend $3 and go watch that.
Well, it's gonna cost me more for my plane ticket. I don't want to be really drunk and miss it, so I'm just gonna watch it at home.
All right. Next.
Miami taking on Minnesota. We just got done putting one down,
We did.
but I'm taking Minnesota.
Me too. We some dumbasses, ain't we?
Miami's just not a good road
That's
team.
why nobody follows JD Sports. We're going to roast the team for 30 minutes and then say, yeah, but you know what? We're taking them.
This week, they're good enough. Tampa Bay
They
takes...
suck, but they don't suck that much.
Right. They don't suck as bad as the other team.
It's Miami. Party in the city.
We broke down an organizational flaw, but we didn't say that they were that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still taking up this overpaid quarterback.
Versus the other overpaid quarterback in Tannehill. Tampa Bay taking on Baltimore. Speaking of a bunch of overpaid quarterbacks, and 2 of them are on the bench guaranteed. Flacco, and then you could either go Winston.
So Joe Flacco's overpaid because he's not elite?
Well, he's a
what you're
backup
going
at
with?
the moment, so that's over. He's getting paid a lot to be backup. Look, here, listen, hear me out. You either got
Yeah, I know you got to defend this.
Winston, or if it's Magic, who are both getting paid a good amount to be on the bench, and Flacco to be getting paid to be on the bench. So there's a lot of money on the bench this weekend.
There's a lot of trash I'm hearing so far.
Who you taking?
Baltimore.
I'm taking Baltimore as well.
Because if it's trash, I'm not. No.
The lowest paid quarterback in that game is going to win it.
Yep.
Detroit taking on Buffalo. For some reason, I don't have anything circled on this one, but I think we all knew who I'm going with on this.
I was going to go with Buffalo for the LOLs again, but no, I went with the Lions.
Yeah, I'm not going with the fakest 5-win team of all time. I am taking Detroit.
They're not going to be the fakest 6-win team. of all
No.
time.
Arizona taking on Atlanta. You'll like this one, Dwight.
Speaking of the fakest, I don't even know what Atlanta is.
I took Arizona. I've given up on Atlanta the way they've given up on playing football.
I'm not giving up on Matt Ryan. He's got me to the Super Bowl. I'm sticking with Matt Ryan. Let's go Falcons.
Him and Julio Jones are the only 2 that play football in Atlanta right now. The rest of the team quit.
Well, they're only 2 to play on this whole game, so
Larry Fitzgerald, 150 yards.
with respect, but yeah.
Dallas taking on Indy.
God, this is the biggest trap of all time, ain't it?
Yeah, because either way, you're not confident.
Here's the thing. We got the Colts, the Bucks, and the Giants. We should really win this out.
If you don't win out, you should at least win 2 of the 3.
And this is the one we could lose.
Yeah.
Ain't that some shit? That's why I glanced at this and I was like, I'm the Andrew Luck hater, but I was like,
Both defenses are playing super well.
this is a trap.
Indy's defense has played really well over the last 12 quarters. We know what the Cowboys have done all season.
I went Dallas.
I went Indy.
I don't like it.
I went Indy, but honestly, I wasn't confident in the pick either way. I was very back and forth on it.
We're either going to sweep or we're going to lose to the Colts. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I think there's a loss in there. I think this would be the one.
I mean, we ain't losing to the Giants or the Bucks.
I agree with that.
This has to be the one.
I agree with that.
I went with Dallas on a whim. Because I still think we are better, but whatever.
I think it's going to be a good
At
game.
this point,
Green Bay taking on Chicago.
shot down.
I took Chicago as well, the way
Isn't
that
that
defense is
disgusting
playing.
how easy we can... Usually we just go, no, Green Bay.
Oh,
Aaron
yeah, no,
Rodgers,
this
Green
one,
Bay,
no,
Green
this
Bay,
time
Green Bay.
Chicago's got the defense.
Ain't that sad?
Yeah.
Figure it out, Green Bay. Shit. Don't let my man go out like Kobe. I'm just saying. Give him some help.
Oakland taking on Cincinnati.
God.
Yeah, this was very hard. Very hard.
For the wrong reasons.
1 o'clock start, East Coast.
I went Cincinnati.
I went Cincinnati for that reason.
I refuse to pick John Gruden the rest of the year.
I also think that Oakland's going to be a little overhyped from last week.
Yeah. I refuse to pick John Gruden. Go back on the bus.
Tennessee taking on the Giants.
Here's the other LOL.
Yeah, trap game.
No, I took Eli and the Giants. This was the other LOL.
Oh, I took Tennessee, but I don't know. I'm not confident in either team, so it's not.
I'm not either. But this was I was like, I'm going Giants. Just for the
I mean, I can't pick Eli, so I gotta go. Tennessee.
I hear you. I don't remember the last time I picked Eli, but I was like,
dude, that's been a long time.
I was like, fuck the Titans.
I think against San Francisco, I did.
I told you I'm done with the Titans. I told you that last year.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
I'm still on that kick.
I'm
Sorry.
done with Eli.
Sorry, Tony. Prove me wrong.
Seattle taking on San Francisco.
I got Seattle.
I took Seattle as
I
well.
realize there's only 2 games in the 4 o'clock slot.
Yeah, because they had to put a game on
That's
2
crazy.
games on Saturday,
That's
bro.
crazy. Well, Sunday's lit. How many games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's
1 o'clock.
9 games at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, there's a lot of 1 o'clock games.
You can't move one of those to the 4 o'clock game.
I mean, there'd be Dallas, Indy would be a good 4 o'clock game.
Right.
Miami, Minnesota. I'd be fine with that.
Any of them.
Best 4 o'clock game though is obviously New England, Pittsburgh.
I got Pittsburgh.
Really?
Yes, sir.
New England's been really bad on the road.
That's the third LOL I have on here.
But Pittsburgh just hasn't. I mean, the last.
I know.
I gotta go with New England.
I know. But I'm sticking with my Super Bowl pick, so that's what I went with.
Philadelphia versus LA.
LOL number 12, Rams.
Yeah, I think Nick Foles loses.
The original White Messiah is back, huh?
I got the Rams as well.
The original White Messiah.
New Orleans taking on Carolina in Carolina for the Monday night game. Dwight. I know who you got. Cameron Jarrell.
Breeze is Christ.
Oh. I got Drew Brees as well. New Orleans is probably going to win that one.
I got Breeze is Christ, and I hope Cameron Jarrell gets some help next year for the millionth time.
Yeah. I don't know. New Orleans hasn't been moving the ball as well.
Nah,
That's the one. I got you. I agree. Carolina's going to lose that one.
Nah. Drew Brees about to put 45 on him in Carolina.
Probably a lot, yeah.
That's what he do. Show him who you are, Breezes.
Dwight, everybody watching, listening, thank you.
Who that?
We'll see you next week, 1 week closer to Christmas.
Yes, sir. Be merry. We're in this guy.
Good night, Canada.